Miss Antoinette and Miss Olga. Today, our group 5 consisting of me, Maggie, Takorn, Tatiana, and Alisa. We are performing a role play to demonstrate the understanding of IHRM key concepts discussed in the module and translate those theoretical knowledge into a creative story of a German car manufacturer, Das Auto, acquiring a Japanese connected systems manufacturer, Kuruma. And the roleplay will cover what to consider in terms of people-related concerns in the integration process. For the story outline, Das Auto is a German leading global automobile manufacturer driven by innovation since 1945. They are employing approximately 160,000 employees at the moment. They are apprehending the electric and self-driving vehicles. Currently, the cost of production is unprofitable. On the other hand, Kuruma is a Japanese auto-connected system and antenna manufacturer. The exact value is around 160 million yen. They are employing 3,200 employees. Their production is highly efficient among competitors, and their expertise has derived from years of experience with the talented individuals. For the timeline, we adopted 3 stages model of Schuler and Jackson published in International Labor Organization. They suggest 3 stages of merger and acquisition, which are pre-acquisition, combination, and solidification, in which the first one involves due diligence, and once the deal is signed, we will have to plan for the integration process and then implement those strategies. Later on, we will have solidification and assessment of the strategies within the 90 days for short term and then later for the long term. The acquisition is expected to be done in 5 years period. In the first scene, there will be a discussion of Das Auto's CEO with an advisor about the motives behind acquiring Kuruma. The sitting will be meeting room. Alisa will be Das Auto CEO and Tatiana will be advisor.
As you know, that EU automotive industry trend is shifting towards electric and autonomous vehicles. We should find a strategy to capture this opportunity and overcome the risks of being behind our competitors.
Yeah, I do agree with you. So actually, I have done research about this Japanese connected system manufacturer, which called Kuruma. I think we should consider acquiring this company because, let's say, the firm has a long experience in producing connected system parts for automobiles. Their expertise is well known as one of the best efficient connected system antenna. B. Their antenna is able to produce higher frequencies and allow more data transmission for the incoming 5G wireless transmission, while minimizing the energy usage. And C. These features are necessary to produce efficient and inexpensive electric cars. Additionally, the features are able to further develop for autonomous driving technology.
Interesting. Do you think it will be worth it? You know that this is a very expensive decision, right?
Yes, if we were to produce the electric and autonomous vehicles by ourselves, it will be costly and more importantly, this is not our expertise. But if we acquire Kuruma, we can gain access to their technology, accumulated experiences and talents and capabilities of their mechanical design engineer team.
Okay, we can consider acquiring them. For that moment, we'll have to conduct the due diligence first. Especially people-related issue play a significant role in the success of this acquisition. I will assign an integrational manager to work with you.
Secondly, we will be exploring HR due diligence, which is an extensive evaluation of the targeted firm in order to identify its current liabilities and assets, translating those into business risks or opportunities. HR due diligence involves exploring the finance, revealing the unseen costs from people-related issues that potentially become a future financial burden, and drawing plans for mitigation or resolving the dilemma. So in the second scene, demonstrate the Zoom meeting between Das Auto's integration manager and Kuruma's HR manager. The conversation is about the acquisition and exchange of information to obtain deep knowledge of the organizational cultures. The session will be a Zoom meeting. Takorn will be Das Auto's integration manager, and Alisa will be Kuruma's HR manager.
Konnichiwa, Mihara-san. My name is Miyako. I'm Kuruma's HR manager. I will be working with you to make the human side of this acquisition work.
So, guten Tag, Frau Meiko. Nice to meet you. So, let's start our meeting for today. As you know that we are considering acquiring your company, could you go through what is the current operating structure, your HR policy and practices perhaps? So we could identify what kind of people-related issue we are likely to face in the future.
You have to understand first that our company has existed for over 100 years, and what makes our success and survival in today's competitive environment is our process. Our organization takes our process and teamwork very seriously. Right now, the company is controlled by Mr. Sato, the seventh generation of the family. Currently, our company value is 160 million yen. We have employed over 3,200 individuals. More than 98% are hired full-time, and most of our top management are male.
I see. For that number of employees, can you at least describe to me how do you recruit and manage them?
We are operated under the division structure, where employees are controlled and monitored by the manager of each division. The employees are recruited for the job market and university. Once the individual is selected, he or she has to pass 3 months probation period before becoming our full-time employee. The longer they stay, the more bonus and pension they will get, because we value their years of experience and contribution to our success.
Speaking of bonus and pension plans, what about the other employees' benefits?
Naturally, we cover the medical insurance for every employee. Working with a heavy machine, we cover both short-term and long-term disability insurance. Employees are allowed over 10 days annual leave, with the exception of maternity case. During the leave, they will receive time off at 50% of the salary.
So, Ms. Meiko, can you describe your organizational structure? For example, when engaging in a new project, how is your usual procedure?
Normally, when the employee wants to suggest the idea, he or she has to go through their department manager to report to Mr. Suzuki, then Mr. Takana, then Mr. Ito, then Mr. Ikeda, and that's not it. You will have to go through Mr. Ogawa, then Mr. Matsuda, and finally Mr. Mitsutaki. The head founder will approve your idea.
Okay. Look at the time. I think we have discussed all the necessary area for today. It was nice meeting you, but now I have some other meeting to attend to. Thank you for today.
Okay, it was nice to see you too.
After observing Kuruma's operating culture, Das Auto could use this information to compare with its own to project integration issues. Hofstede's Insights reviews two significant differences between Germany and Japan, which are individualism and power distance. There is a presence of seniority, hierarchy, top and down communication, and collectivism presence in Japanese working culture. On the other hand, for German, culture is more leaning toward the flat organization where everybody is equal. Besides, they are positioned in culture spectrum. Moving on to the combination stage, we will take a look at employee reaction, as researchers have highlighted how acquisition triggers various emotions of employee. Schweger et al. Have underlined 5 major issues, which are loss of identity, lack of information and anxiety, lost talent, survival becoming obsession, and family repercussions. In these scenes, the engineer manager has noticed unusual behavior of the employee. The quality of the work has seemed to be significantly lower, so he decided to ask what is going on. The employee expresses her feelings towards the acquisition. Future uncertainty is worsens through rumors within the organization concerning organizational restructuring, layoffs, and social threats. These fears of changes lead to lower motivation, commitment, and job satisfaction. The scene will be engineer division office. Alisa will be engineer manager, and Tatiana will be employee.
What is this? Do you self consider this work acceptable?
Sorry, so I have been unable to focus on the work lately.
How come? You'd better have a good explanation.
To be honest with you, we have heard about our company being acquired by the German carmaker, which is so frustrating. We are concerned about the changes they will make, like restructuring, which means that any of us is at risk of losing our jobs, right? Or it will be not us, it will be our friends. To make it worse, we have family to feed and bills to pay. My husband gave birth 2 months ago. My cuckoo is having surgery next month.
Who is Cuckoo?
It's my goldfish, sir.
Oh my. I feel you, sis. We'll definitely report this concern to the HR team.
For integration planning, merger outcome can be described as using M&A approach mode, which explains the possible end results of the process that is interrelated with the integration approach. The manager is required to understand these phrases while considering the effects on the performance. Besides, the communications with the remaining employees should be transparent in order to ensure trust. The scene illustrates a discussion between Das Auto CEO, integration manager, and advisor. They are drafting possible approaches that could be implemented for the integration process. The integration plan structure is adopted from a book of Gold and Hilger. Sitting will be in the meeting room. Das Auto CEO will be played by Takorn, Alisa will be integration manager, and Tatiana will be advisor.
Hi everyone. In today's meeting we'll be discussing our integration plan, and let's start with integration approach.
For that matter, I recommend transforming their culture into ours because it will be easier to manage them.
Really? In my opinion, I think we should have a merger of equals because the reason of this acquisition is to acquire their talent and experience. We should think about if we change everything, these talented people maybe want to leave.
Yes, I agree with you. Best approach is the best way, for it have made Kuruma maintain what shaped their talent at the first place. Instead, what we should do is that we should establish those globalized supportive programs and restructure their organization to enhance those talents even better.
Move on to the next point. We must have a clear timeline for this integration. We should emphasize the first 90 days on what is important and required to be implemented.
Within the first month, we should ensure that the manager position fits with the new strategic direction. If they are unable to comply, the replacement process should be under consideration. Secondly, we should assign our HR team to update information daily, because the acquisition affects everyone at every organizational level. Therefore, we should be transparent and ensure that everyone has access to the information. This way, we can install the employees' confidence and reduce uncertainty perception.
Apart from the short term, we should take the long term aspect into consideration. In the long term, to achieve our end goal, the integration plan should be a range of 3 to 5 years. We will adopt incremental approach, slow speed with a high scope, because it is the best fit for melting both cultures.
One more thing, we should ask ourselves what could possibly go wrong, and we must underline those potential risks.
Yeah, our team recognized two significant potential risks. First, we should ensure that what we change will not impact their talents that we want in the first place. Secondly, the inability to perceive the value of this acquisition of the employees, leading to the disbelief of a successful change.
Alright, I believe we have already covered all the essential details in our meeting today. Let us call it a day. Thank you everyone for your contribution.
Integration executive actions. In this following scene is a Zoom session between Kuruma's HR manager and Das Auto integration manager. They are discussing about the implemented strategies in regards to staffing and retention, then training and development. Takorn will be integration manager and Elisa will be Kuruma's HR manager.
Guten Tag, Herr Müller.
Konnichiwa, Meiko-san. How are you?
I'm doing good so far and have not caught the COVID-19 yet.
You are funny. Let's begin our monthly report. According to our HR policy and practices we agreed upon in the last meeting, could you fill me in on what you have done?
Okay, under the new policy, we focus on acquiring talent with a geometric approach for the idea generator position. We can access a greater talent pool. Currently, we have set a goal to increase our foreign employees proportion by 30%. This adds diversity and new perspectives in our workforce. Besides, we also consider adding more women in our open managerial position. We believe that the correlation between women leadership and the empowerment factor can help to generate better results. Our primary recruitment channel is an online platform to reach more qualified candidates, minimize costs, and follow the idea of we do not fish in the same pool.
I would suggest that we work on the employee branding as well. We want to be perceived as a high-profile talent builder, like for example, Harvard University. Through our attractive training and development program. Moreover, if we are able to create a development value by offering growth opportunity, it could be a plus for our employees' retention.
Yes, I cannot disagree. We are on the track of building a strong training and development program. As we agreed that talent can be developed rather than an inborn trait. We are starting partnership with different universities to access new graduates. Also, we focus on improving our high performance by offering workshops in a modern open space environment, which with advanced installed equipment and increasing the budget to stimulate the initiatives.
However, the effectiveness of the program is highly dependent upon the employees' culture, learning style, and their languages. You should consider incorporate demonstration and program instruction technique for Japanese employees to absorb better.
Okay, noted. Let's take a lunch break.
According to Tyler, he utilizes PDI and UAI from Hofstede's theory in order to discover effective learning techniques. Japan is found to position at the range of demonstration and program instruction approaches. The next scene is the meeting after the lunch break. The managers are covering in the areas of reward and appraisal, then support programs for cultural challenges.
So hey, welcome back. Did you enjoy your lunch? What did you have?
Hi. Yes, I had sausage and beer. You?
Honestly, I just had sushi and ramen. I guess we are trying to learn each other's culture after all. So, what we have left cover today is program for reward, benefits, and cultural challenge support.
In terms of the rewards and benefits programs, we are continuing with that we discussed during the due diligence. However, we adjusted and added some elements to reinforce a relaxed and family-friendly working environment, as Japanese are overworking and that may impact their productivity. Hence, we extended annual paid leave to the maximum law requirement, 20 days, a massage room for work stress relief, accommodation facilities for employees who finish work late, or paid transportation to home.
Okay, to support the cultural challenges at the headquarters, we are assigning an expat for the cultural exchange purpose for a year. The program aims to provide culture and German classes. Mr. Weber, she has worked in Japan before, so we believe that it will be easier for her to adapt to Japanese culture. However, we are also offering the travel allowance to maximize her experience in Japan. Also, it will increase her incentive. Additionally, payment for her salary base, as we must take expenses that she will have to cover into consideration as well, such things as taxes, exchange rate, housing, and also the transportation.
Okay, we will also provide Ms. Weber a local consultant to support any difficulties she might encounter and adaptation issues during her mission. During the program, she should conduct a report on our culture and its impact on the organization. That way, the corporate can learn to adapt as well. Oh, one more thing. When she is returning, she might be experiencing a reverse culture shock. What could be addressed for this concern?
When Ms. Weber returns, we will also assign consultant to get her through those readjusting period. Then we will also offer her a career advancement opportunity to be able to utilize the new skill and knowledges that she acquired during her exchange years. This would prevent her negative work attitude and also the decision of resignation.
Roger that. Today is another long meeting day. I hope our contribution will make this acquisition successful.
Of course, it will. See you next time, Miss Mako.
See you. Bye.
In the last stage of solidification and assessment, Schuler and Jackson has stressed the importance of evaluating, adjusting, and solidifying the implemented strategies. The acquirer need to emphasize staffing leadership, cultural integration, new organizational structure, stakeholder concerns, and learn from the issues. In these following scenes, Kuruma's HR manager is reporting the feedback of the implemented strategies, both positively and raising some concerns. They revisited what they did and solidified the strategies. The session is at the meeting room. Tatiana will be integration manager, Takorn will be Kuruma's HR manager, and Alisa will be CEO.
So, let's begin with evaluation process of this acquisition.
So to start the report, we found that the result of implemented change in our working environment changed the overall perception toward our company. In the regional job market, our company is considered as modernized and open-minded, which greatly contributed to our external employee branding. Respectively, for the internal employee branding, we are able to instill confidence in the new direction toward innovation. Through our research environment, including reports of employee engagement are being detected. In the matter of employee benefits, our extended leave affects employee job satisfaction positively. Lastly, our cultural integration process has received positive feedback. The employee requested us to extend the program period, which we are considering.
However, not everything went smoothly. Our implemented structure toward a geocentric approach did not reach the project figure, showing only a 10% increase of our overseas workforces. The cause of this are explained from the language barrier and their perceived stress scale, from the working environment which highly discourage their intention to apply for the job. And then for the training and development program, the number of the participants in these implemented programs were not satisfied. Most of the employees perceive this program more as a task rather than an opportunity.
Well, then the mitigation and adjusting plan should be addressed.
Referring to the language barrier problem, the mitigation involves providing a language class to our overseas employees and additional English class for Japanese employees to support the internal communication. It is noted that the language support should be started clearly in the recruitment channels.
Addressing the training and development program, we can readjust the program and start with something that is perceived as easily accessible by our employees. The activity needs to be simplified, then we can ensure that the perceived value toward our program start to implement the skill and development program. The following mitigation plan should be addressed and evaluated again in the next 90 days.
Okay, let's meet in 90 days. Thank you, everyone.
In conclusion, the roleplay has demonstrated different IHRM critical concepts in various stages of mergers and acquisition, pre, actual, and solidification. The reasons for M&A failure mostly result from the ignorance of people-related issues and overemphasis on financial aspects. The roleplay has illustrated the difficulties of managing the integration, considering the alignment of the business strategy, national cultures, and organizational cultures to ensure the success of this acquisition. Thank you.